the conference was to educate the youth to see how to be as leaders in the society.
Wow.
So there are several things you need to be eligible before getting into the conference. I applied. Like I said before, the different kind of conference needs different qualification.
Right.
Now, the conference, when I applied, you must belong to an NGO. You must belong to an
Okay.
NGO, yeah, and not necessarily belong to an NGO, but you need to see how you can belong to an NGO. Once you do that, the conference is not difficult. You go online when you get the link, you follow the step, you apply for the conference, and there is a conference fee.
Right.
That is, some conference they have refundable fees, some conference don't have refundable fee, but the fees are not always that much. Once you apply for the conference, you fill the necessary step. There will be some small quiz for you to question and answer for you to fill up. You need to answer some question, and then your background check. They will do some few background check for you to know that you are really the person you claim to be.
Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're seeing this beautiful face again for the first time, I'm Agbofiona. I'm a second year PhD nursing student in the University of Alabama at Birmingham, and I'm very happy to be here on this space again, and even more excited to have our host Prince Bate here again. If you watched our previous video about his tips and tricks on how to get a US visa, US CV lottery successful, I'm sure you must have seen him. But then, if you're seeing this video for the first time and seeing him for the first time, he's going to introduce himself again. We are very happy to have him here today because he's going to tell us some vital information about how to get a non-immigrant visa to the US, and precisely in the domain of conferences, seminars, workshops. So thank you so much for being here again today with us, Prince Bate. Can you please briefly introduce yourself?
Thank you very much, Ms. Agbofiona. I'm very delighted for you giving me this opportunity again to come on your platform to share one or two tips on how to migrate to the United States. My name is Prince Bate. I'm a Cameroonian, a permanent resident in the United States of America, and a resident in Dubai.
That's fantastic. And one thing I forgot to mention, how did I even forget to mention? One thing I forgot to mention is that Prince Bate and I are from the same area in Cameroon. We are all from Manfi. We call each other Mano. If you are a Cameroonian, I'm sure you're used to hearing people call each other Mano. People from the Manu division call each other Mano. We don't need to introduce ourselves as I'm from Manfi. We just see each other's names and we're like, Mano. So that's how we met in Dubai on the day of work. We're working in the same company. And when he came, they were like, Bate, Sam, I said, Bate, where's that Bate? That's my brother, let him come. And that was how we met. So we'll go right into the questions. Prince Bate, as a brief summary, has gotten a non-immigrant visa into the US 2 times to attend a conference. Prince Bate, I always say Prince Bate is so blessed. I always tell him that he's so blessed because these opportunities he gets doesn't come around every single day. So he got a non-immigrant visa twice to come to the US and attend a conference. And I think he's well versed and well experienced in enlightening us about domains like this, because I'm not very enlightened in that. So the first question would be, how can one find valuable and credible conferences like that in the US that we can apply for? Where do we go about searching for these conferences? How do we prepare ourselves so that we can apply for such conferences, which will eventually give us the push to go for US visa and then come to the US?
Okay, thank you very much for that question, Mrs. Agbofiona. Like you rightly said, have been privileged to get a non-immigrant visa and an immigrant visa to the United States of America. So let's talk on the domain of conference. Now, to get a conference visa or to follow a conference, there are two things. One is referral. The second is by going online and search for it. Yeah, someone can refer you to a conference site or to a conference. Like, for example, I can tell you the conference I use, the name is called Youth Assembly Program. The Youth Assembly Program. If you go online and type Youth Assembly Conference or Youth Assembly Program at the United States, you will see it. Now, you can still go online and type conferences at the United States of America. Conferences this time, conferences going on in the United States. You will see a lot of conferences.
Right.
Now, someone you can also meet people that have traveled out with conference, and they can still, guide you or tell you the various kind of conference that are good. There are some conferences that you must be eligible by having a certain age. You must be this age to this age. There are some conferences that you must have a certain qualification. So you need to go online and type. This is a digital world and everything is happening online. If you go on Google, you can type conferences in United States, conferences in United Kingdom, conferences happening in Germany.
Right.
No, one thing I want to advise people is that you can do it yourself. The aspect
Okay.
of I've been going to US embassy or traveling all over the world, let me say that, without using any agency. I go to the embassy myself, I get the requirement, I go online, I search for what I need, and I do it
Mhm.
myself. You must not necessarily go or looking for an agent
Agent,
that will
right.
scam you to get the visa or to do certain things. We are just I'm giving you my tips in life. What make me to be what I am today? That's what I'm giving. I didn't pass through any agent. I went to the embassy myself. I went to online myself. But the truth is, my conference was referred to me by someone. Someone told me there is a conference going on. You can check online.
Okay.
It's called the Youth Assembly Program. If you go to Youth Assembly Program, you can open their website. The website is there. You can read about the program. You can start your application. You can follow up the steps, and it will lead you to where you need to, answer some question, or some of them need you to take a test or an exam for you to pass before you are eligible for them to send you an invitation to the United
Okay.
States to process, to attend the conference.
Right. Right. That's really, really awesome to know. So he said you can get the conference by two main means: referral, or you can just search online. And he has explained very well how he got referred to the Youth Assembly Program. We'll leave a link below in the description of this
Yes,
video to the Youth Assembly Program. You can try your luck. One can never
yes,
tell. Let's see how it
yes.
goes. And
Mhm.
listening to him saying that, I think even some of the academic conferences I've attended, I think people can have opportunities to travel also to attend conferences like that. You just have to be eligible, meet the
Yes.
eligibility requirements, and do what is required of you. Do it by
Mhm.
yourself, and then the rest will be history. That's really nice to know. So, the second question I want to ask, you have traveled a lot around the world, Prince Patty. Do you think that your referral to the Youth Assembly Program and eventually you bagging US visas to come to the US to attend a conference, do you think that is influenced in any way by your strong travel history?
Yes, your travel history sometimes can boost your morale, can boost you wherever you want to go. For example, if you want to apply for a visa somewhere, and based on your travel history, like for example, if you are applying for a US visa, non-immigrant visa, or an immigrant visa, your travel
Mm-hmm.
history can still give you a backup. It shows that
Right.
you have been traveling. And one thing about non-immigrant visa, whether it's a tourist visa or a conference visa or a student visa, is still a non-immigrant visa.
You're
What
right.
they want to see, from the interview or by the consular officer, is for you to prove to them that you're going to return back to your home
To your
country
country.
or your
Exactly.
country of resident. That is the main
Mhm.
thing they are fighting to see. Now, you
Okay.
traveling a lot, like how I've been traveling, I've going to this country, I've been to the US and come back, I've gone to Russia, I've gone to this place. They already know, oh, this guy have been traveling and he have been traveling and coming back. So it's an opportunity. This one will not be a different for him to go and remain. So he must come back. Even if you have the idea of immigrant intent, immigrant
Mhm.
intent means you are going like not to
You
come
don't
back.
plan to come back.
Yeah, you don't want to come back. They call it immigrant intent. You should keep it with you, but you prove to the consular officer that you're going to go there and return back to your home country or your
Right.
country of residence.
All right. So for someone who does not have any immigrant, any travel history, do you think this already hurts their chances of getting the visa? Or what do you think they can do to strengthen their application profile so that they can, first of all, get an invitation from these conferences and then eventually get a successful US visa interview?
Um, Going having a travel history also is good, but that doesn't mean it if you don't have a travel history, they can't give you the visa. Some of us
Awesome.
we didn't fabricate travel history in our passport before getting the visa. We start from somewhere. We start from a
Right.
country. You understand? US can be your first travel history.
Exactly.
Yeah. Doesn't
Right.
necessarily mean like Miss Fiona, you came to the US. I think I know how you came to the US. No, it doesn't mean you were having a lot of travel history. You
No.
understand? No. So it doesn't matter if you have a travel history or not. Now, if you want to apply for a conference visa, it depends the kind of conference you want to know. Like the conference I got a visa from, it was a youth assembly conference. We were training the youth. We were coming as a youth leader, youth ambassador to solve some of the problems that are going around the world. You know,
Wow.
some of the problems that most of the people that are affecting right now in the world are youth. Youth are involved in several kind of activities, several kind of. You go to back there in Africa, we have a lot of political unrest. We have, domestic violence. You have children not going to school. We have women facing a lot of problems. So it takes the youth to correct to right the wrongs. So the conference was to educate the youth to see how to be as leaders in the society.
Wow.
So there are several things you need to be eligible before getting into the conference I applied.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said before, the different kind of conference needs different qualification.
Right.
Now, the conference, when I applied, you must belong to an NGO. You must belong to an
Okay.
NGO, yeah, a non profitable
Governmental
organization, or yeah,
organization.
non-governmental organization or anything. Once you
Wow.
belong to an NGO, you must not necessarily belong to an NGO, but you need to see how you can belong to an NGO. Once you do that,
Okay.
the conference is not difficult. You go online when you get the link, you follow the step, you apply for the conference, and there is a conference fee.
Right.
That is, some conference they have refundable fees. Some conference don't have refundable fee, but the fees are not always that much. You know, once you apply for the conference, you fill the necessary step. There will be some small quiz for you to question and answer for you to fill up. You need to answer some question, and then your background check. They will do some few background check for you to know that you are
Okay.
really the person you claim to be. Once you go through all that step, the conference organization here in the United States will send you an invitation letter. When
Wow.
I applied for the conference, I received my invitation letter within 4 days.
Wow.
Within 4 days, I received the invitation letter. That is when you receive the invitation letter, they will follow you up, they will help you, they will guide you to see that you go through the process of getting your visa.
Mm-hmm.
When you apply, when you are filling the conference information or the form, they will ask you if you require a visa. If you are a frequent traveler, or they always give sometime 2 years visa, 5 years
Right.
visa, or non-immigrant visa, depending on the country you're applying for. There are some countries that are giving 10 years, 10 years visa. Non
Wow.
Like multiple entry. There are some country in Cameroon they are giving like 5 years multiple entry. So that is it. So they will ask you if you need a visa. If you require a visa, they will help you with the process of getting a visa.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So when I got my invitation at the conference. So it was then left for me to fill in my DS 160 form. For non-immigrant visa, you need to fill the DS
It's DS
160 form.
160.
And when filling the DS 160 form, you need to be very careful to know the kind of
Yes.
visa you're choosing, because there is
Right.
B1 visa, there is B2 visa, there is F1 visa, there is,
Right.
different kind of visas in the United States.
Right.
So you need to know where you are filling. Now for conference, it's B1, B1
B1.
visa.
Okay.
Yeah. B1 visa is for conferences and well, domestic workers
Visits.
and visits. All of
Visits.
them are non-immigrant visa. They call it
Right.
B1, B2 visas. So
Okay.
you need to fill your GS 160 form and pay for the GS 160. I don't know, maybe I think it's like $160.
$60.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes. It's
$160 you need to
$160.
pay online.
Yes.
So after that, after you fill the DS-160 form, then you will look for appointment wherever you think that you are eligible to attend the visa appointment at the embassy or at the consulate where you reside, whether
Okay.
where you are country of residency or your country where you are living, where you get your nationality, or your biological country, or whatever your
Right.
home of residence. So you need to know where you can book for your appointment. When you book for the
Okay.
appointment, that is up. You need to face the embassy.
Okay. So with respect to booking an appointment, depending on where you are, I think you can only book an appointment in your country of residence if you are a resident in that country. For
Yeah.
instance, I don't know if you're a tourist in a country, you can book for an appointment in that country. I believe things have changed since COVID, but like he rightly said, we have to go through the information, find out which information is vital for you at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Where you are at the time, you can make inquiries about where you can go for your visa interview. If you're, but what I know is if you're a permanent resident somewhere or you're a resident somewhere, you can apply for visa interviews there.
Yes.
Otherwise, I think it might be hard, but it's
Well,
still
the
there for
thing
you to
is, you
find out.
just need to check at the U.S.
Check
embassy where you want
exactly,
to apply
apply
the
for.
for the visa appointment. If you are not a resident in that country, you need to find out if it's eligible for you to attend the visa interview in that country.
Awesome, fantastic.
Mhm.
So, do you think the fact that you had a relative or relatives in the US made it easier for the conference to grant your invitation and also for the embassy to give you the visa?
No, I
Okay.
don't think because you have a relative in the US will increase your chances of getting the visa. No. As a matter of fact, when I was applying to come to United States, I bet them to know that I don't have any any relative. Some of the reason this is non-immigrant visa, and
Yes.
whatever the consular officer is asking you, or whatever you need to prove to the consular officer, you need to prove to them that you will return back home.
To your
You will
country.
return to your country of residence
Right.
or your home country. Now, if
Right.
you're telling them that, oh, I have my brother in the United States, I have my sister, my cousin, that is already a red flag
Yes.
because they can
Right.
file for you. They can help you. They can, help you to gain asylum. You understand? So
Right.
sometimes it is even better if you're applying for a non-immigrant visa, you make them to know that you don't have a relative, even if you have one. You understand? Because
Okay.
your relative can file for you and you stay in the United States. So um, you need to be very careful when you are filling your form, when you're answering question. And
Mm-hmm.
you need to there are some questions that you need to answer in the United States embassy, which I don't know if you want us to go through some of the questions or we leave that for another session. There are some questions, some key questions. What are some of the things when you are going for a visa interview? Most of the things is you need to show your ties back home for them to know
Right.
that you will come back home. There are things we
Of
call
course.
ties.
Yes.
And what are ties? Some of the things like, oh, you're married, you have a good job, you are currently working, you have a house, you have a businesses, some things that you are a breadwinner of the family, you're the one taking care of the family, you need to come back, they really need you. Those are ties back home. You need to prove to them
Right.
that you have ties back home for you to convince the consular officer that you're going to return back home.
That's awesome. What he just discussed about ties to your home country, these are things that the consular officer wants to hear. Because with non-immigrant visa, you have to prove to the consular officer at all costs that you will return to your country as much as possible. Because every non-immigrant visa applicant is potentially considered as an immigrant. They are
Yeah,
potentially considered as someone who wants to go and not return until proven
yeah.
otherwise. And you
You
can
want
only
to prove
prove
otherwise.
otherwise by really explaining and reiterating the ties you have back to your home country. Like you
Yeah.
mentioned, families, assets, tasks, jobs, and also I'll add even prospects. For instance, he was going for a youth conference and looking at the situation of Cameroon at the time, let's say with the Anglophone crisis, you could say, well, you're going for this conference to learn better ways how to empower youth in crisis situations, how to empower youth who have been internally displaced due to the Anglophone crisis.
Mm-hmm.
That's prospects. And that
Mm-hmm.
shows that what you're going to learn in that conference, you can only apply it back home. And that way you're convincing the consular officer that I'm going to learn this and I'll be coming back.
And that's very true, Mrs. Fiona. When I was applying, there is a particular spot when they asked me to, to outline some of the reason why do you want to attend the conference? Like, why do you want?
Exactly.
How can the
Okay.
conference be beneficial? What
Help
can you
to
see?
you.
What will you use the knowledge you will gather? What are you going to use the knowledge for? Do you know I cited only the Anglophone crisis? Because
Okay.
it involves mostly the youth.
Yes.
Mostly the youths are suffering. The youths are the one in the bushes. You know, it takes another youth, to talk to the youth. So you need
That was a
to,
strong word.
you really need to prove to the consular officer that you have something that will bring you back home.
Right, right. That's really awesome. Especially for those who are not married, for those who do not have a job, those who do not have families, those who do not have assets. Prospects are all you got. You just need to fix the prospect very beautifully, and that's it. I have a video that I did about questions, non-immigrant visa potential questions that you can answer, how you can prepare for them. I'll leave the link in the description as well. You can go through it. And I also had an interview. I had an opportunity to speak with a prospective PhD nursing student here, and she was like, Fiona, I don't have a husband. I don't have a child. I don't have a job. I don't have an asset. I don't even know how much a piece of land costs. How can I tell these people that I will come back after my PhD program? And I asked her one question. What is your nursing research interest? She said her domain is in cancer. I said, perfect. You just need to tell the consular officer that the cancer prevalence in Cameroon is skyrocketing. In
Mm-hmm.
your center where you work, you only have 2 cancer prepared doctors and no nurses. So you plan to go and learn this and come back and apply. And she was like, that is just what I needed. And she went and she got her visa and she's here in the US with us.
That
So
is it. It depends how you talk
you put
to
it.
you put
Yes.
it to the consular
Yes.
officer. Yeah, it
Right.
depends how you put it. You just need to be bold enough.
Yes.
You just need to speak to them.
Yes.
You need to convince them.
Confidence. Yes.
Convince them. You need to have the confidence while talking to them.
That's
So,
true.
yeah.
That's right. Very, very vital points. I hope you guys are taking notes. If you cannot come through schools, you cannot come through DV lotteries, you cannot come through other immigrant pathways, I think you can try conferences. So that brings us to next question for today. So the next question is, what would you advise people? You came to the US the first time, you attended the conference, and you went back home. And I'm sure that some people back home were asking you, why did you come back? So many people have gone and stayed. Why did you come back to Cameroon? Cameroon is not even nice. Things are very bad. You should have stayed there. So what do you think? Is it beneficial? Is it better to get this visa, come to the US and remain here, seek asylum, marry an American citizen, look for a job, or is better to get the conference visa approved, come, attend the conference, and go back home to your country?
Well, to answer that question, I would say it all depends on the individual.
Okay.
My own point was while I came back is I had a job, a very good job
Okay.
working.
Wow.
I was working in Dubai, I was
Yes.
working. So I wasn't prepared to, but there are some people that can come here and decide to be an immigrant intern or stay here in the United States, look for asylum or get married. United States is a very good country. It's very good. They make things very easy. It's one of the best country I've ever seen. It's very nice. Some people they have the intention of coming to stay, but me, I went back because I was having a job. I went back because I was
Okay.
having a good job. So I was
Yes.
working. I had to decide to relocate to the United States permanently when I won the lottery. So
Right.
so many people they have the intention. So it's good to stay here, to come here if you feel you can go through the process of getting yourself to become an immigrant here in the United States after reaching here as a non-immigrant. It's okay. It's fine because United States they always give people the opportunity to change their status here in the United States. So that is it.
Oh wow, that's really interesting. At least you had a good job, meaning you left Dubai for the US for to attend the conference, not Cameroon.
Yes, Dubai.
Okay, all right. So I think if you're applying for this non-immigrant visa path, especially for conferences and workshops from an African country, I think you have a lot of convincing to do
A
because
lot of
in
convincing. You
Dubai,
just need
obviously,
to.
it's a bit less rigorous, less stringent, but back home, it might be a bit harder. But with good preparations and also with maybe a good job to back you up, like I'm just going to attend this and I'm working here, this is where I work and I'm coming back, I think it will be good too. Thank you immensely for yet another wonderful session, Prince Paddy.
My
What's
pleasure.
your final word for people who are aspiring to move from anywhere in the country to come to the US in the future, or people are aspiring
Well,
to move in any way or from any domain?
like I said, US is a very nice place, although people can make it also anywhere they are.
Right,
Some people are making it back home.
exactly.
Some people are having the urge to travel abroad, not only in US, to the UK, to Germany, and so on. My my advice is you should be, you should have the confidence in yourself when you are doing things. Believe in yourself that you can do it. Believe that you can go there, and don't always have this notion that, oh, no, I can only go through an agency, or I can pass through an agent, or this.
Right.
Get the right information online. Everything is online. Get the right information. Go to the embassy, and that is it. You can come to the US. US is a very nice place.
Very vital. You can do it yourself. I believe so much in that too. We applied for our US visa and did everything, applied for my school and everything. We did it by ourselves. We did not look for an agent to do that for us. It would have costed us a leg, an arm, a leg, and maybe a whole body if we had
Yeah.
to do that for a family of six. So also I think it's vital to ask questions. You can also ask questions. After searching online, you can equally ask questions from people who have traveled before, people who are well versed with situations like that.
Yeah.
And I remember when we were preparing to come to the US, we had to show a bank statement for my dependents. I didn't have to show a bank statement for me since I had a scholarship, but I had to show for my dependents. And I called Prince Bate. I know he travels a lot. He always does bank statement stuff. And I was like, my brother, I'm getting stressed out. How do we get bank statement of this for this family of five? And he said, you can use your bank account. I'm like, really? I thought bank
Yeah.
statement is something special. So
No,
honestly, there are some very simple things
simple
out there
things
that
you
we
don't
don't
know.
know.
Use your
Yes.
bank account.
Yes,
Use your bank
he said
statement
use
from
your
your
bank account.
account.
Meet people you know, tell them to give you money, you put it inside and you you fill it up and that's it. And I was like, wow. I didn't know that. So it's good to ask questions and ask questions from the right people. You can use your bank account for your bank statement because you definitely need a bank statement when you're applying for a non-immigrant visa status. So you will
Mm-hmm.
definitely need a bank statement. And the best bank account you can use is the one you have been using. You can use your
Good.
current account. So long as you have enough money inside, or you can sell an asset and put the money in there to show that this is what I have to take care of myself throughout the stay of this conference, then that will be convincing enough. So ask the right questions, do the searches yourself online, and do the process yourself because no one can do it better than yourself. But then, if you absolutely need to seek the help of an agent, use a good one.
Yeah, you need to use a good one. And if there is any question that we need to answer based on the questions, some of the questions that have been asked at the embassy, just post your question below and we'll feel free to reply.
Right. And one thing I forgot to mention is Prince, but he has a YouTube channel. I've been on his neck and head all this while to go and start posting videos on there. So I'll leave the link of his YouTube channel in the description. Please go to his YouTube channel, subscribe to his YouTube channel, follow his videos for more insights. And if you have any questions, you can always leave your questions under the comment section of his videos.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I hope you
Thank
guys learned
you.
something today, guys. So We'll call it a day. See you in our next video.
Thank you
Bye.
so much, Miss Fiona. It's a pleasure being in your video again. Thank you, listeners.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.